Hey, I'm Josh.
And I am Tim. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the second
This
podcast
is podcast number 2, day 2, whatever you want to call it. We don't know what we're calling ourselves yet. So
if you've seen our first podcast, please leave a comment down below on that video.
Yep, comment on that one, comment on this one, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and we'll decide, let you
We're
guys
deliberating, that's a nice big word. We're not sure what we want to call it yet. Give us a couple weeks, we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
Probably.
This week we decided we wanted to take on some big arguments that you see popping up all the time.
Hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the meat of the topics. So, where do you want to start?
I think we should start with let's talk about video games.
Video games? All right.
So,
what video games do you play, Tim?
I don't know. I play kind of more console games and PC games, but I think I play both Halo and Call of Duty. I think we'll start there with Halo, Call of Duty, since that's majority of the people like Halo's better. No, Call of Duty's better. We'll give our opinion, and then you guys let us know. Aside from the name of the podcast, let us know what you feel. How do you feel about each topic we discuss? So
yeah, absolutely. And if we ever say anything you don't agree with, feel free to let us know.
Give us a thumbs up.
We're being respectful. We're trying to be respectful of your opinions. Please try to be respectful of our opinions.
Yeah, we're not saying, oh, this is better than this. We're just trying to say which one we feel would like.
Which one we like more.
Yeah, which
I
one
suppose,
we like
and then why we like it.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, let's get started. Personally, and I feel like you're gonna say the same thing, although I'm not sure. I like Halo better than Call of Duty, and there are a couple of reasons for that. Just going background story. Call of Duty was released in 2003?
I think so.
And then Halo was released in, I think, 2001.
I think 2001. Yeah.
2001.
Halo definitely, I believe, was released before.
Halo is at least a year older than Call of Duty. And it's known as being one of the games that shaped first-person shooters.
Yeah.
It was something new. It was something exciting, and it really got people excited. And so, playing, Combat Evolved, like the way it was originally made, was such this fun experience. And you would run around with your guns, and you'd have that overpowered pistol.
So much fun.
And then you'd get so excited every time you killed an elite. Because they were just so tough to kill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was a really, I think it was a really well done game. And at the time, they were able to use technology that was available to them in that day and age, 13 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that, and make a game that still is impressive today.
Yeah. Even though the graphics don't really hold up, they redid it, and I think if they released that game today, I think just as many people, if not more people, would be into the Halo series.
Absolutely. And so, while I think Halo is great, I think that there are some points that we need to talk about about Call of Duty, because it is one of the more realistic first-person shooter games out there. It's a very well-made game.
Definitely.
Personally, I prefer the Black Ops games to the Modern Warfare games. Personal thing, I think that it feels better and it looks better. Because there's even just like a different look and feel between each of the different games that Call of Duty puts out. But I think we should definitely commend Call of Duty for some of the things that they've done well. And I think they've done a really good job of getting the physics right.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like Call of Duty has definitely the realism that they have was definitely first, because Halo, for those of you, if you haven't played it, I highly suggest you play both. They're both very fun games.
Oh yeah, no, I am not saying you should not play Call of Duty.
both of them you should definitely play them both if you don't own a copy or if you don't play at a friend's house, whatever you do. Definitely, I think Halo introduced more of the shooter style aspect to the gaming community. I'm pretty sure there probably was first-person shooters like Doom and Quake games before that, but like I feel Halo introduced more of a in-depth, like here's a story.
And it really revolutionized it. It gave you a main character that you could fall in love with in Master Chief. But, you know, at first, the multiplayer experience wasn't perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely when, we're going to talk about this later, Xbox versus PlayStation, but like when Microsoft released their Xbox Live, I think that definitely brought the gaming community together in a different way it hasn't seen before.
Yeah. And I feel like there's another game we should talk about, at least briefly, is Battlefield.
Battlefield, definitely.
And that's another really good first-person shooter game. And it really gets left out in these conversations of Halo and Call of Duty.
Definitely.
But I think that as far as realisticness goes, Battlefield is the most realistic game out there.
Yeah.
And the controls are a little bit funky. That's why a lot of people maybe don't like it as much. But the graphics are beautiful.
The graphics are definitely...
And
really...
one thing that I really like is the 64-player games
amazing.
for the servers. It's fantastic. And so, while I would say Halo over Call of Duty anytime, I would say that between Call of Duty and Battlefield, Call of Duty has the better reputation, but I think that's because not as many people know about Battlefield.
Yeah, I think that Battlefield definitely needs to be included in conversations and should definitely be more recognized than it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, Battlefield still is recognized, but I think that when people talk about first-person shooters, one of the first-person shooters that definitely... it's not one of the first-person shooters that definitely comes up first.
Yeah.
Definitely it's Halo and Call of Duty. But I think that both, well, not both, but all three games definitely bring something to the table that some of the other games might not have. So
Absolutely.
I think that's why we're talking about it, because we want people who haven't really had an experience with Battlefield, or who haven't experienced Halo, or who haven't experienced Call of Duty, to learn more about why people like those games. And
And they're all great games, and they're all great in their own way. You know, Halo is this futuristic game that I just love playing.
Yeah,
and you could spend hours playing. The community that plays it is great.
It is.
And you just meet these wonderful people online playing games. And Call of Duty is very competitive.
It's definitely. I mean,
it's the most competitive of the three.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I mean, Halo and Battlefield are still like it's not like they're not competitive. They are, but I think
there's more fun.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Duty, I think more people play it to be competitive than for the story aspect of...
Yeah. And playing Call of Duty and like I said, it's more competitive, and because of that, you will find more people who are very aggressive about how they're playing. And so you'll find more of those people who are swearing more than you would like to listen to. You'll find those people who are swearing at small children who are also playing.
Yeah.
Which I've never understood.
I still don't understand it, but I mean, some people play video games in their own way, and I think people should respect that, but for those people who feel like they need to swear or like they need to yell at people because they're not playing the game that person likes to play it, then I don't think those people should be in playing the game.
Yeah. And so that's one difference, is if you're in for a very competitive game, Call of Duty is always more competitive. Black Ops is, like I've said, is my favorite. And I feel like, because that's what I play most online, is there's this very... Like, you can find fun groups of people to play with.
Oh, definitely, yes.
But you're more likely to find that other team that just literally mops the floor with you. Whereas playing games like Halo or Battlefield, it's usually going to be more of an even match. And there's some really good players out there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have had myself. I've been like gone 1-20 in games before. It's definitely possible.
There are definitely players in all 3 games who
that are really good.
Yeah, like there's no one game where there's like a bunch of people who are really good. Like they're almost spread out through all the games, but I mean, still like Battlefield and Call of Duty, there's still games that you can have fun in, but it's people are appealed to it because like it's more competitive than the Halo, I think.
Yeah. But I think Battlefield is less competitive than Call of Duty, which is, I think, something that it does well. But with the big 64-player
I think you can
games,
have more fun with more people.
Yeah.
In,
and it really comes down to tactics. Yeah. But at the same time, if you're on a team with like 10 people and the other team has 20-some people, and you're getting destroyed because people just keep rage quitting, it's just not fun. Get the phone, Tim.
I did.
Hold the phone. All right. No, that's all right. That's real life. Telephones, they are real.
Yeah, we need to. Well, yeah. As of the podcast set, we're definitely probably gonna change it up.
Yeah. Hopefully, eventually, we will go to my house. I've got a place that I'm trying to get set up. I need to do some spring cleaning when that comes time. And do some decorating for the set. But it's going to happen soon. It's coming soon. Future attractions. In the meantime, we can deal with telephones. And this is a kind of cool-looking bookshelf with all these VCRs. Do you remember VCRs?
Is it VCR?
VHS. VHS goes in the VCR player.
Been so long. So long.
Oh, the good old days, right?
Back in the day. We can have this conversation back in the day, but
yes.
Let's get back on topic.
Right, okay. But I've always had more fun playing Battlefield and Halo because I feel like the people who play it are more fun. And I'm not saying the people who play Call of Duty are not as fun, but I'm saying that the competitive atmosphere makes it less fun.
Well, I mean, some people are drawn to the competitive atmosphere.
Some people are.
I mean, but personally, I don't. It's not that I stay away, but I don't go to Call of Duty as often as I go to Halo. So I think that that should be taken into account. So
and like I said, Halo is my favorite game, but I think that also has to do with who I know who plays Halo.
Yeah, I think.
And I've got a gaming clan that plays Halo. We have Halo play-togethers somewhat consistently, usually once or twice a month. And so when we're playing on Halo all the time together, we start having fun. And I'm friends with enough people in the clan where I could play just about any time, not any day, but any time for maybe 3 or 4 days of the week, and see someone I know online and be able to play with them. And so I think that's just something that has an influence. Like when Battlefield 3 came out, that was all I was playing for a while because that was what all my friends were playing.
Yeah.
And so it has something to do with that. Whereas my clan has not done so much in Black Ops. It's still a good game. I still played it. I went through, I had to go beat the campaign on Veteran and do all that good stuff.
That's, definitely, I think that your influences are definitely what brings you to a certain game. Like, if you are surrounded by people who play more PC MMOs, then I think that you will most likely play that. But I'm not saying that people who are surrounded by those people will have to. Like, people mainly play games that their friends play, and because, I mean, I do. I play Call of Duty, Halo most of the time, so it's more like who you know and what they play is what you basically usually play.
Absolutely. All right. I feel like we're beating the dead horse now.
Yeah.
They're all good games.
They're all good games.
Depends on who you know and what you like.
Yeah. So
try them all out. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Don't start commenting, please. We don't want to know your opinion on that someone else sucks because they like it. they like it, so what?
Yeah,
so.
Everyone likes something specific. If we've misrepresented something, please let us know.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to get something about, how Call of Duty is way too competitive and not as fun. It's still fun. It is. I've enjoyed playing it, but I've found that it's not as fun for me personally as playing some other games because I'm usually caught up in how competitive it is, and I'm like, I keep dying. I can't do this.
I mean, me myself, like, I am not the best player out there. I'm saying that right now. I'm not that good, but I still have fun not being good by just enjoying what I'm doing. Like, I was playing with my cousins on Christmas, and we were playing Black Ops 2, and we were just playing a local game, and I definitely was the worst player in the room, but I still had fun. It's not like you can't have fun. It's more of how you play the game and how you receive it, stuff like that.
Absolutely. And it's about who you're playing with as well, because if you get a good group of people in any game, it's going to be fun. Just like if you get a bad group of people in any game, it's not going to be fun.
It's not that fun when you have a giant person yelling at you. But, all right, next topic.
Let's tweak a little bit. Instead of doing the Halo Call of Duty
I think we should,
and Battlefield as well, let's talk about the consoles here.
Yes.
This has been a huge running debate.
Yeah.
Black Ops is available, and I'm only saying this because that's the game I play. Sorry, guys. If you like Modern Warfare, that's cool. I've played it. Not my favorite game out there. But Call of Duty games are available for Xbox and PlayStation, whereas Halo is only available for Xbox, just like Gears of War is only available for Xbox, which is another game that I think should be thrown in there. It's a good first-person shooter game. It's very, very bloody.
It's not a third-person shooter, technically. Well, I mean, it's a good game still.
First third-person shooter. It's a good game.
It's good, yeah. It's good.
Just shout out to Gears of War. It's cool. But we want to talk about the differences between Xbox and PlayStation. Xbox is Microsoft. PlayStation is Sony. Just so we know.
Yeah, we also want to talk about Nintendo.
That's got Wii U, the Nintendo DS's. And Nintendo was the first console game, I believe, other than Atari.
Atari and Nintendo were the first console games.
With the N64.
There might have been another company that made it. I'm not really sure as of right now, but I remember watching that there was the gaming boom, Pong and stuff like that when that first came out. A bunch of toy companies started making video games, and their own consoles. So there might be some major consoles where you might be missing
There's some other consoles out there.
We're talking more modern.
We're talking about
Xbox
what's known right now.
PS3
what's
right
big.
Now.
And there's also PC gamers, people who like to play games on their computer. Gaming on your computer is fun. My computer is not powerful enough to play games anymore. My computer starts freezing up if I play Minecraft anymore.
Yeah, so
which is a problem because Minecraft isn't a big game.
I feel like computers are more of people who know how to work it, and I'm not the most computer savvy person. I know how to turn on my computer, but I don't know the difference between one graphics card and another. I'm not that kind of person. I still enjoy computer games, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a very big PC heavy person. So we're gonna talk about consoles mainly.
Yes, computer gaming is for people who enjoy it. It's not dying out, but there are fewer people who are picking it up.
Yeah.
So consoles. I own an Xbox 360, but before that, I had a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2. I've spent a lot of time playing the Game Boys and the Nintendo DS's, and I don't own a Wii. I've played it. I've also played Wii U one time. It was kind of cool, kind of a cool experience. That's the new Nintendo system.
Yeah.
I've played PlayStation 3 as well. Not as much. I've actually really only played Black Ops on the PlayStation 3. I was in Florida maybe a year ago, I was playing video games for a couple hours with a friend of mine, and he had a PlayStation. That's what we were using. What do you have?
I personally had my hands on all three consoles, so I know like the interfaces are pretty similar, but there are some differences between PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. I feel like the PlayStation 3 it doesn't have better graphics, but the way that the games come out on the PlayStation 3, I feel like are a little bit better quality than they are in the Xbox 360. I'm not saying Xbox 360 has a lower quality, but I feel like the quality that comes out in PlayStation 3 is better than.
Yeah. The graphics are phenomenal on all three games now. On all three systems now. Finally, that the Nintendo has the Wii U out, which does HD now, which is really exciting. But I feel like the PlayStation does have better graphics, and the PlayStation is compatible with 3D games, isn't it?
I believe,
or 3D TVs at least.
Yeah, I think it is. I think Xbox is also.
I have not seen so much advertisement for 3D stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen advertisements that Xbox can, but I've heard of people who have played Halo in 3D.
Okay.
Yeah, so I believe PlayStation has been around longer than the Xbox.
PlayStation came out in
95,
94?
Yeah.
Might have come out in 94. Whereas Xbox was released in 2001.
Yeah, I think it released with Halo 1.
Halo was one of the flagship games, and so PlayStation coming out first, I feel like gives it a better history.
Yeah.
And so people were playing on their PlayStations and their PlayStation 2s before people were playing on the Xbox. And I don't know the exact release date for the PlayStation 2, but it can't have been that much after the release of the Xbox.
Yeah. I think that the Xbox has a better community than the PlayStation does.
And I think that has to do with Xbox Live.
Yeah,
you have to pay to go online and play on Xbox Live
unlike
for
the
PlayStation. The PlayStation Network is free for use.
It is.
If you have a PlayStation, you can use it. But that means that anyone can be playing with you.
Yeah.
Anyone's little brother can just pick up their PlayStation controller and play games. Whereas you have to pay for Xbox Live, which I think narrows down the community just a little bit.
Yeah.
And means that you've got people who are paying for their experience and don't want to be like banned, and so they're going to be a little more respectful and be a little bit friendlier.
Yeah, I think that when you implement a service where people have to pay for it, I think like especially with consoles and like gaming and stuff like that, I think that the people who pay for it will most likely follow the terms that you've set as long as they're within reason, because I feel like if you have someone pay for it, that's someone basically paying their dedication towards you. I'm not saying that people who have like are only Xbox 360s. I know plenty of people who have both consoles.
Yeah.
And who like them equally, but
they're
I think that's something that the Xbox does.
It's something that they do that helps just like monitor the people who play. The controllers are very different.
Yes.
The Xbox controllers at least feel smoother. They're like more sleek.
Yeah.
They fit your hands very nicely.
They're more designed towards your hands, as which the PlayStation 3 is more designed after the PS2 controller, which doesn't fit in your hands as well, but it's still a relatively comfortable controller.
It works, but it feels a little bit bulky in my hands sometimes.
Yeah. I know. I like
the weight's a little bit funky, but I think it's still definitely usable, and it's still good. And they're working on figuring out weighting for it, I think, to make it feel better.
Yeah. I think there's some things that the PS3 does better than the Xbox, which is
absolutely
that it implemented a Blu-ray system, which basically, I think that's one of the main reasons why Blu-ray took off is because it was integrated with the PS3. Yeah.
And so you can watch any Blu-ray disc in a PlayStation.
So I think that's something that it did well, along with that's something that Xbox doesn't have.
Yeah. Hopefully Xbox will catch up and get Blu-ray in there. We don't know. We'll see.
I feel like the PlayStation 3 was more designed to be an entertainment system, whereas the Xbox was designed to be a console for gaming.
The original Xbox 360 was designed as a console for games, and they've been changing it with the newer versions, the Xbox 360.
Especially the PlayStation 2, I remember. It was definitely the first. It was the first console to be a DVD player. So yeah, I still use mine to play DVDs. So it's still. I mean, PlayStation has a good track record, especially with the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, with having solid consoles that are not only gaming consoles but just entertainment systems, and I think that's very important to consider.
I do want to say, though, that it's very nice to have access right away to ESPN, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you want to watch on your Xbox, you can have that right there.
That's also something that I think the Xbox does well, which it's more, I think it's more designed towards internet usage.
And so you can do just about anything you want. And I don't like how they use Bing, but it's Microsoft.
I mean, they're pushing their own products.
They are.
I mean,
and so I understand that. But, my favorite thing to do is go on Bing and search for Google and then go to Google. Just so that they know that they're inferior. I'm not a huge Bing fan. But I think that still, it's a very good product.
Yeah.
Even if they have Bing. Let's talk about games that they have.
I think...
and we touched on it briefly, saying that Xbox, Microsoft has Halo and
Fable,
Gears of War.
Does it have Gears of War? It has Fable as well. Whereas the PlayStation 3 has Uncharted.
Yeah, they've got Uncharted. They've got the Ratchet and Clank games.
Yeah, like both gaming consoles have solid platform only games. I feel like that the platform only games in, especially Uncharted for the PlayStation 3, is definitely more has like more realistic feel than the Xbox.
But at the same time, it's not as much of a first-person shooter as it is more of an adventure game, kind of along the lines of a Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Which is Tomb Raider.
I don't
specific.
I
don't know. I think something that's really cool is that with the Xbox Live Arcade, you can play Minecraft on the Xbox 360, which is something they don't have for the PlayStation yet. And
they have a PlayStation Plus store. I think they have.
Do they have Minecraft now?
They don't. They don't have Minecraft, but I think they have something similar, like where they have an arcade store. I'm not familiar. I don't own a PS3, but I'm somewhat familiar with how the how it operates. So
yeah. All right. But I think that Minecraft has a huge fan base, and so when they moved that to console gaming,
that was definitely
that was a good move by Microsoft to bring that to the Xbox, and it's something that may or may not keep them on top, if not at par with PlayStation, despite having not as good graphics and the Blu-ray player.
I think something else we should touch on is the Wii, and what it has brought. I think the Wii, basically Nintendo in a nutshell, basically not revolutionized, but it brought a lot to the table that that Microsoft and PlayStation didn't. Like for instance, Nintendo has its own handhelds, and I don't know of any other handhelds that are available.
There's the PlayStation Vita.
Well,
and the PSP.
Oh yeah.
Which haven't really kicked off. The PSP was kind of popular for a while, but the Vita hasn't done much.
Yeah, I think that Nintendo definitely has a stronghold in the
mobile gaming,
mobile console.
Yeah.
I think mobile gaming is getting closer to like iPhones and basically
yeah.
phones and iPods, stuff like that, touches. So I think that mobile gaming is going more towards that, while console gaming is basically staying in those main three.
Mm-hmm. Something Nintendo has done really well is they've always been the people who are pushing and creating new things for console gaming.
Yeah.
And they did that with the N64, which was one of the first gaming systems, one of the first gaming platforms. And then they did that again with the Wii, which really, I mean, if you think about it, the Xbox Kinect and the PlayStation Move are both just knockoffs of the Wii.
Yeah, I think
the Kinect did it really well.
The Kinect
with
definitely
the video
did it well.
sensor,
Definitely did well.
whereas the Move is just like that wand. But Nintendo has always been changing and revolutionizing, and that's why I'm excited to see the next Xbox and PlayStation consoles, which I feel are going to take something from the Wii U.
Yeah, I think that definitely Nintendo with the Wii and the Wii U, they've brought something that the Sony and Microsoft don't have, which is basically getting your player to move, which I don't think it's not so much as something that's necessary, but something that they can implement that will definitely help them in their sales. And so I think that definitely Nintendo definitely a lot, that Nintendo has a very heavy influence on both Microsoft and Sony.
They do. And I think something that Nintendo is doing really well with the Wii and a little bit with the Wii U and the DS is they're creating games that anybody can play.
Yeah.
And because anyone can go and play Wii Sports and play tennis or boxing or whatever. And anyone can do that. They know how to move their body, and it's not going to feel weird with them with the controller being like, what am I doing? Which is something that I think we should admire about Nintendo, is that they're able to take non-gamers and attract them to video games in a way that Xbox and PlayStation have not been able to do.
Well, I think that definitely Nintendo have blah blah blah. They definitely have a bigger family-friendly orientation than Xbox and PlayStation has, because they're more friendly games like Mario and Zelda. They're more like not kid games, but they're more they can appeal to younger audiences than than Halo and Halo and Uncharted. I think that games that don't really have a solid. I'm not saying that Zelda and Mario don't have a solid storyline, but storylines that are easy to grasp are definitely better than like something like Halo, which definitely has a deeper storyline. But Nintendo still makes games that have a storyline that even older generations can appeal to them.
Absolutely. And Nintendo has done a good job of keeping the Mario games around, keeping the Sonic games around.
Yeah.
Zelda's really good. But what they haven't done is they haven't been updating these games and adding new content. And so it's starting to get stale. And they need to come out with Mario Kart 2, I think.
They have a Mario Kart for the new Mario Kart for the handheld, but I think that.
But they need to make new levels and keep advancing what they've got, which is family-friendly games that everyone knows. Because everyone knows who Mario is.
Yeah,
you may not play it, but you've seen Mario.
Yeah, everyone knows who Mario is. Everyone knows who Zelda and Link are. Everyone knows who Kirby is. I think that. Nintendo has the ability to go forward and improve upon their fan base. They can have deeper, in-depth games like Assassin's Creed and Batman Arkham City. if they have more AAA titles that are available along with the whatever they have, then I think they can improve upon their fan base and their gamers who they can appeal to more gamers. Basically,
because right now people look at the Wii and they look at it and they say, "Wow, like this is a kid's game.
Yeah,
what am I gonna do with it?"
People see it as a toy, and I think that.
And I mean that's good because that can bring in new people, but people who already game are less likely to really play the Wii at length because, well, I've got my controller. I can do everything I need with these buttons. And so I feel like in order to bring in the gamers who have consistently been spending money on games and who are already like an audience that is so easy to get to because they're at like every gaming convention.
Yeah.
They already see everything that's put online about video games.
Their product is very well known, so I think if they they can bring in more if they expand their title base.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, how long have we been doing this? Half an hour? Wow.
I think we're good. So I think we'll wrap up there and then.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull this to a close. Sneak preview for our next episode. Comic books.
Comic books.
Do you like these things? We do.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Marvel and DC and some other stuff. Yeah. And it's gonna be fun. So tune in next time.
Hopefully we'll have Calvin with us.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see when we can record next. But thank you for joining us. Again, if you have any suggestions for the name of the podcast, please let us know in the comments down below.
Yep. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you think we're doing a good job, let us know. If there's something we need to improve upon, let us know. If you think that our shirts look funny, let us know because fashion is important.
Yeah, if you think we suck, let us know. Please let us know. We want to make our content better for you. You right there sitting on your couch.
The one who's looking at us right now.
You
that
right
one.
Yeah, no, behind you. No, and behind you.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one. Okay. But yeah, no, we're here to try to talk about stuff that interests you. So if you've got a topic that you want us to talk about, let us know, and we'll get to it. And if there's like a YouTube video you want us to do a commentary on, or if there's
a game you want, we might even start doing.
We could do some game reviews. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to screen capture a game of us playing a Halo or a Minecraft or something.
Yeah, something.
Have some fun. It's all gonna happen. Just let us know what you want to see, and we'll make it work. All right.
So thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Have a good week.
See ya.